Hey everybody, been a few weeks, so I wanted to give a quick update on the Cobra, let you know what all is going on here. Been starting to gather some parts for the upgrades I plan on doing as soon as possible on this vehicle. I'm still waiting, based on Ohio laws and the way they work with registration, since I bought this out of state, I need to have a Vin Check done on it. And what I ended up doing is I got the plaque from Factory 5 that has the serial number and the mark and the year built and whatnot, got that installed on the vehicle, and I now have a state of Ohio inspectors going to come out to my house probably in the next few weeks just to take a look at it, make sure there's no other VIN, and then sign off on that hopefully, and then we can get the title transferred. I'm in a little bit of like a gray area because this is a vehicle that already has a title. It's not something that's new and needs to be titled, and Ohio's just kind of a pain, and this kind of falls into one of those areas that gotta jump through some hoops to get it done. So not like I'm driving it anyway. It's pretty cold and icy outside. So that's kind of where I'm at on this one. It's not drivable because I have no title. My temp tags that I got when I bought it have expired. So it's just kind of sitting around anyway. So starting to work on gathering parts and whatnot. So here is what I have started, or the parts that I've started to gather. This is everything that I'm starting to put together for the brake system. What I'm going to do is I am upgrading to a 94 to 95 Cobra master cylinder. I got the North Race Cars brackets and cables for doing the rear disc conversion. I have a pair of Thunderbird rear calipers. I think they're 44 millimeter diameter piston, if I remember off the top of my head. I've got one refurbished front caliper. The other one I had to return the other one back to Rock Auto because it came completely rusty. So waiting to get the replacement for that. I have two 11.65 inch Cobra rear rotors. What I'm going to do is I'm keeping the 4-lug pattern, so I am going to drill those for 4-lug. I've got the stainless braided lines for the front. And then I went to Super Coops Unlimited in order to use those calipers, and I got their adapter brackets, which will work with the North Race Cars brackets and put the caliper in the correct spot. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see how that works out. I also have a full set of Hawk HPS 5.0 pads on order for all these calipers. They have to make the Thunderbird ones to order, so it's probably about 3 to 4 weeks before I get those. And then I've also ordered from Maximum Motorsports the proportioning valve removal kit, their rear line kit to redo the rear axle for the disc brake calipers, a couple other adapters I needed to get from them and whatnot to make everything fit, the hard lines from the master cylinder to the proportioning valve, things along those lines. And then I've got a adjustable proportioning valve from Willwood on order as well. So still gathering everything for that. The Maximum Motorsport stuff's all on back order as well, of course. The lines are. So it's probably going to be a month before I see that as well. So kind of in the holding stages there as far as those parts go for doing the brake swap. And that brings us to the other project that I'm working on, which has to do with the interior. First thing I'm doing is right now this currently has the Napa tractor ignition switch that's under the dash. To me that's kind of janky. I'd rather have something that looks a little nicer, so I went ahead and ordered this setup. It's the 65 Mustang ignition switch, keys, bezel and whatnot, and the wiring harness. I'm going to go ahead and integrate this into the dash of the car. As well as I've ordered the turn signal 3-position switch, the headlight 3-position switch, and the high beam 2-position switch from Finish Line because I want to move those to the dash as well, being that right now it just has the donor car switches tucked under the dash, and again I'd rather have it look a little more authentic, a little more to what it was versus having a bunch of janky stuff under the dash. Again, car was built 20 years ago when the kits kind of first came out, and it was built more to that donor car mentality versus how the new Factory 5 kits are and have a lot of the individual switches and whatnot. And going along with what I'm doing in the dash, here you can see the Napa switch kind of hanging down. There was a panel underneath that I've taken out for access. You can see I got the Factory 5 plate with the information mounted up. The ignition's just hanging there. There's also a toggle switch that, from what I've traced on the wires, it's a kill switch to the coil. So I'll probably keep that tucked up under the dash, obviously, because it's a good little anti-theft thing. And then you can see the switches hanging down for the heat system, because this does have the under dash heater. As far as what I want to do with the ignition switch, my plan is to kind of go how the 427 SC was and have the ignition switch here, and then move the red light above it, which will be connected to the alternator. Currently, this vehicle has kind of a different layout. It's got the donor gauge set up where it's got the speedometer, the tach, and they put the oil pressure gauge in a spot that it normally wouldn't be in. It's kind of a hybrid of the SC layout versus the street layout. So my plan is I'm gonna get the Autometer Cobra gauges that are newly released that look very authentic. I'm gonna keep kind of this layout, and I'm gonna put the green and blue lights on each side of the oil pressure gauge. Currently, all three are down here. This is where I'm gonna put the turn signal and 2 headlight switches. So they'll kind of be in a row. You can see the horn switch is there, and then next to the horn switch is a manual fan switch. So I'm gonna have the line of switches there, and I'll probably also eventually add a few other things. Maybe I'll move the heat stuff there, I'm not sure. But right now it only has the 3 gauges from the donor. I am gonna replace those, as I said, with the Autometer stuff, and I'm also gonna blow out the holes for the 2 that go below there. So that is in the works as well. The only thing I have to work on with that is the heater is directly behind those gauges, so I have to check clearance, see if I'm gonna be able to fit the Autometer gauges with the heater there, or if I'm gonna have to relocate the heater a little bit over to the side or further back or whatnot. So that is in the works. So that's where I'm at with the project for now. Today it's supposed to be about 60 degrees outside, so I'm probably gonna back this out of the garage while it's on the ground, fire it up, let it run for a little bit, because I haven't run it since I got it around Christmas time. Just get the oil flowing and whatnot, and then I'll pull it back in, put it back up in the air, get all the wheels, tires off, and just get ready to get started on the brake stuff and then the interior work that I plan on doing. So I'll probably post a video again here maybe in a week or two, just to kind of give a progress update, you know, where things are at with the car. But slowly but surely, not in a real big hurry to get anything done, because like I said, I'm waiting on so much stuff. Other thing I did do was I got chrome polish and some aluminum polish, so I can kind of go over the bright work, try and clean it up as much as I can, because as I said in the previous video, if you look at, you know, the windshield surround, you can see it's got some pitting and some tarnishing on it. Same with, you know, the mirror, and then all the aluminum and whatnot. It's all just looking a little bit older, you know, like a car that's been sitting around and is 20 years old, which it's hard to believe this thing is 20 years old. So that's about it, all I have for today. Anybody looking for a quick update on the MR2, still in the body shop, still waiting to get painted. So hopefully sooner rather than later there's paint on it. But again, I'm not in really a big hurry to get it back, because I have nowhere to put it until I sell the GT500. So not too much probably coming on the MR2 in the near future. As far as the Gladiator goes, I've got the rock hard sliders that I'm gonna put on there and pull off the stock Rubicon ones. So depending on the weather, that might be coming up here in the next few weeks. We'll see what the weekends bring in store for us, because it is still winter in Cleveland and not exactly the best weather to be outside crawling around on the concrete swapping out sliders on my truck. So that's all I got today. If you want to keep up to date on all my projects, please like and subscribe, and more to come. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.